Learn together, pass together, grow together. Okay, so what is network? You might be thinking the word LAN and WAN, which is a local area network and wide area network, would be the hard part here. But they are not. The hard part is that a lot of people use those words without ever really stopping to ask, wait, what's the network is the first place? So let me strip it all the way down. A network is just a way for devices to communicate with each other, whether that's by cable, over the air with Wi-Fi, or some other connection method. If I have two computers sitting by themselves, they each other have their own files, folders, apps, and data stored locally. Local just means it's on that device and accessible from that device only. The moment I connect those computers together, now I have got a network. So this is network that when I want to communicate or I want to build a communication between the two devices, I connect them, and this call is network. It might be tiny, it might be ugly, it might not scale at all, but it's still a network because those devices can now share data and talk to each other. That's the key. And I wanted to catch something here because this matters later. When we say network, we are using a pretty generic word. We talk about a network of roads, a network of people, a network of example shops, right? In IT, it's the same core idea. It's just a system of connected things that can communicate. So now bring that into our example.com website. From the customer side, our service looks polished, warm, and simple. People walks in and grab or take the services, sit down, maybe jump on Wi-Fi, and that's all they see. What they don't see is that tucked away somewhere in the building is the hidden room, the network closet, where all the real magic happens. That room matters because the Wi-Fi is in the sitting area, doesn't just appear out of thin air. The register at the counter doesn't magically talk to the inventory system. The security cameras, the streaming devices, the office computer, or the service provider tables or tablets, all of it has to connect back to something, and that something is usually built around a wired infrastructure, even when the experience feels totally wireless. This one, this is one of those places where modern tech tricks people a little bit. We say wireless and our brains go, cool, no wires. No, not really. What wireless usually means is that your device doesn't need a wire. Somewhere in the background, those communications are still tying back into a wired network. Okay, so wireless feels invisible, but it's almost always riding on top of the very physical network you still have to design, cable, power, and manage. Okay, if you try to connect every device directly to every other device, you had have a mess on your hands. Absolutely travesty. Early networks had problem like that where devices were chained together in a line, and if something in the middle failed, everything downstream got cut off. That's not the kind of thing you want happening during the morning rush at example.com. Okay, right? So instead, we use a switch. A switch is a central device that lets all the other wired devices plug into one place, rather than computer A plugging into computer B and computer B plugging into C and C plugging into D, and everything plugs into the switch. And the switch handles the communication between them. Okay? Now add a wireless access point, which is WAP, often shortened to AP, which is access point. Sometimes or many times we just call this AP. Okay? That's the device that sends Wi-Fi into the air so phones, laptops, and tablets can connect wirelessly. But again, and this is the part I really want burned into your brain, that AP is usually plugged into the switch. So the wireless world you are experiencing in the example side is still being fed by the wired world behind the wall. Okay? I think you might be, or I think you get my point, that what is the meaning of wireless and what is the story behind of being wireless of any system. Okay? Now, this is where LAN comes in, which is a local area network. which is just the network inside a limited area like our example site. If devices are communicating within the local environment, the registrar, the back office PC, the smart TV, the Wi-Fi clients, the printer, that's all part of LAN. I don't want you to overcomplicate the word local. It just means nearby and contained within the same general location. One building, one shop, one office suite, maybe a home, that's a LAN. So when our customer connects to Wi-Fi at example.com and stream a video that lives or lives on a local server in the building, or when the point of sale system talks to another device in the same shop, that's LAN traffic. Okay? Right? And yes, a LAN can be bigger than just a couple of devices. Way bigger. You can have one switch, multiple switches, wireless access points, printers, cameras, and all kind of system tied together. It's still a LAN as long as it's that local network living inside the contained space. Okay? Now, the second you leave the local network, you step into the WAN territory, which is wide area network. And this is how we connect across large distances. Most of the time today, when people say WAN, they are talking about the internet connection. That's a path from our local office network out to the rest of the world. So inside our example service or example site, everything talking internally in LAN, but when the register needs to reach a cloud payment processor or a laptop in a cafe open Netflix, or our manager checks inventory from another city, we are leaving the LAN and using a WAN connection. That's the dividing line. Now you might be thinking, so WAN just means internet? Mostly yes, but in everyday conversation, but technically a WAN can also connect one location to another location directly. Like one coffee shop to another coffee shop, one example site to another example site across town or across the country. It's just a network that span a wide area. One local space, one big outside world. That's the mental model. Now, here is the simple version I want you walking away with. A network allows device to communicate. A LAN is that communication happening within a local space, like inside example service or example website. A WAN is what we use when that communication needs to go beyond the local space, usually out of the network or the another far away location. And underneath of all that, you usually got a switch at the center of the local wired network, plus wireless access points extending that network into air. That's why the hidden room in the example service or example shop matters so much. It may not look exciting to the customer, but it's the heart of the operation. No network closet, no Wi-Fi, no switch, no local communication, no WAN connection, no path to the outside world. Okay, remember this, LAN is inside and WAN is outside. That's the starting point. Okay.